your experience like developing Elementum?
It was a really rewarding project. Got to learn a ton that definitely wouldn't have learned otherwise, and work with a really great team that made the game happen.
So what would you say your favorite part of the development process was?
Again, working with the people. I love the meetings and hanging out with our team. We had such a cohesive and fun to be around team. We could be serious when we needed to, but we also made sure every meeting didn't feel like a complete drag.
And then the least exciting question, which is, what do you think the biggest hurdle you had during the development of Elementum was?
There were so many. There were so many hurdles. Really learning how to work as a group and keep us on schedule, keep us moving forward, making sure that the game met the deadlines and the quality expectations that we had for it. We learned so much going to these conferences and pushing ourselves to the last minute, and how that can be a really bad thing. And then you have something like Captivate today, where we had a lot of time to really make sure this build works. And it's very rewarding to be not have to worry about game-breaking bugs except for one or two, and just be able to enjoy the conference.
So what was your experience like during the development of Elementum?
My experience was very interesting. I like the struggle that we went through and how it progressively got better as the game got on. It was nice to see a progression of what am I trying to say? It was nice to see a progression of achievements that we were able to accomplish something towards the end. That was probably what stuck out most for me.
Yeah. What was your most enjoyable part of Elementum?
The most enjoyable part?
If you remember something off the top of your head.
I really enjoyed level design, but the enjoyable part was to actually be able to do something inside the levels. Once we had the scripts and everything tied in, we were able to actually maneuver the levels and use some of the features that we had designed.
Okay. What would you say was your biggest hurdle in Elementum?
Biggest hurdle was probably understanding why things weren't working. I had a big role in the QA testing and the testing of the game in general, and when I ran into some of the issues and I would think that it was simple, it ended up not being so simple, or something I thought was complex ended up being something really simple. So that was a challenge to me to distinguish what priority to set bugs at.
Yeah.
And it was a good progression to learn that as well.
Okay. So what was your experience like working on Elementum?
It was a really big learning experience. I think overall just figuring out what I want to do with my art, and also figuring out how the process of making art. So we started off kind of messy and, well, what are we doing? And then sort of at the end we all kind of came together and figured out how to work together and make a great game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just a big learning experience overall.
What was your favorite part of working on Elementum, if you can
Favorite
think of one?
part? I think, can you cut it?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. My favorite part was kind of like building out the level, just figuring out, you make this piece of art in isolation, and then seeing how it all fits together to make an immersive level and scene was really exciting. So that end part of building out the levels was my favorite.
Okay, thank you.
So what was your experience like overall working on Elementum?
Elementum was very fun. And fun to do it, and always meeting with the team was always very enjoyable. Talking about the different aspects of the game at that moment, at the meetings, where it's always something fun to do. It was very fun.
Cool. That's something that I look forward to having, is like working on groups like that, which is a big part of video games. So yeah, that's the social aspect of it. It's very good. Cool. What was your favorite part about the game making itself, like making Elementum?
Well, I enjoyed scripting and seeing how things that I scripted move. It's always very gratifying. It's one of the other things the reasons that I made video games. and it's very enjoyable. You know, it was very cool, and also I mean, showing it to other people, it's like, oh man, that looks great. That's always very good. You know, it's very gratifying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. The biggest hurdle that you ran into, maybe overcame, or just throughout the whole process, what was your biggest challenge?
Well, I mean, it's like when usually it was scripting on the game, and whenever I completed something, it's like, oh, but that's great, but why don't you do this thing? and then I made it. It's like, yeah, now it looks great, but we want to do it this other way. It's like, you're killing me. You know, but you know, that's what happened in the industry before. It's either that or you get on, oh, look at this beautiful thing that I made. Yeah, but we're not gonna use it.
Well, very nice. Well, thanks for being a part of it, and yeah. So Andrew, how was your experience on Elementum, and what were some of your favorite parts?
Well, working with Elementum was very fun and exciting to be able to learn how a game starts from beginning to the end, as well as making the model and then adding it into the game and seeing it inside of the game was exciting. And at the same time learning how to set up the model, like if a model requires a specific function, like if going to do something else, and you separate or you add them together, and then you get to see it become a whole different, it moves and become alive.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for being a part of it, man.
Okay.
Hey Zach, how are you doing?
Good.
Okay. What was your experience like making Elementum?
It was a fantastic and slightly stressful situation. So doing all the programming, it was really amazing because I go off into a corner and kind of write scripts, you know, forever and not really see any throughput. And then the designers and the artists come together with these scripts, and it creates this living, breathing, moving thing that I look at, and you know, it's nice to look at it and go, you know, that's my work right there. Seeing everything move and things bounce off each other and all that. So it was very rewarding to finally see my work come alive.
Nice. Let's see. What was your favorite part about working on Elementum?
Well, it was my favorite part of working on Elementum was learning a lot, working with an awesome team, growing together, and you know, there was some moments where things were tough, and we overcame that. And so I just really think it's the people that you're around, and everyone's passionate about the same idea. So yeah.
Cool. What was the biggest hurdle throughout this process?
The biggest hurdle is the fact that I was basically the only programmer.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time refining scripts and fixing bugs and adding new features and all sorts of things like that. I was constantly at work trying to make all this stuff happen. So we were still able to get through it, which is great. But that would definitely be my biggest hurdle is the amount of time spent.
Okay.
And at times it was pretty difficult to maintain that on my own.
Cool. Who would win in a fight? Batman or Goku from Dragon Ball Z?
Batman.
Thank you.
So what was your experience like during the development of Elementum?
You know, it was a learning experience. I always loved playing video games growing up. But as you get older, and as you start training and learning about this craft, it's very different. So you're coming together. You have all these different groups of people, artists, your programmers and designers, and you're meshing. And then you also have your producers on the team. So it's invaluable. The project experience is invaluable compared to the academic experience.
Okay. What would you say, if you could think of it off the top of your head, was your favorite part of Elementum developing?
I would say brainstorming, because for me, I may think, oh, this is the best concept ever, this is the greatest idea, but then when you express that concept to other people, they're like, well, here's the inconsistencies. This is where it lies weak. And then they come in and support, or you have your idea and they have their idea, and it comes in and forms this apex of like awesomeness. So that's one of my favorite parts, is because it's not a single person, it's a team effort. And so through this this long, tough, amazing journey, you create something that you all can take ownership in.
Right. Okay. And now the less exciting question: what was your least favorite part of Elementum's development? Or actually, I can rephrase that. What did you struggle the most on? What was the hardest for you?
I'll say the first, and then I'll do this. So what was the hardest for me? I would say programming, because based on my background, I always wanted to do game art, and then I got older and fell in love with the design. So I was really an artistic designer, but then on Elementum, I started getting more in depth on the code, and that's what's addicting, because now it's full circle. I can think of something, I can create the asset, and now I can implement its feature. So learning how to code coming from an artistic background was the hardest thing. And then my least favorite thing was failing. But it was a learning experience, right? So as long as you don't make those mistakes again, then that's okay with me.
Right.
So that was my least favorite part. And there was a lot of it, because it was the first project, the first experience, and that's what happens when you're just starting off.
Okay.